All right, practice video, 5th of July, 2020. Um, Basically, more Rotella thoughts today. I did a little bit of digging yesterday to check on some thoughts that I'd had about movements of the shield arm in Rotella or in well, really any other shield. And then I went and did some digging this morning on in my copy of Marazzo in the Rotella section, and watching video, both good and bad, of people doing a number of things with Marazzo. And what I found was that while everybody seems to think of Marazzo, of all these, as this very static Rotella, that it comes out here. For all of that, the better fencers, Bolognese style like Ilka, will move it, and you'll see him come up into here. There's places in the first ward, or there are places in the Assalto of the Rotella where things really do need to move in concert. And he literally, in at least one place, specifies that we are to move our Rotella and our sword in support of each other. In one section later on, he literally tells us to join them and cover high to support. But I want to talk about the very beginning. One of the first actions in his Assalto for Rotella is where he tells us we're to take Porta de Ferro, Istretta, and we're to make a thrust to the face, causing their sword arm to lift. We will jam into the sword arm, right, lifting it with the sword. And from here, we're basically told that we make a cut and a cut to the leg. So I guess the way I look at that one is something akin to this. If I'm here, I'm going to thrust here. Now, you'll notice what I'm doing when I do this. I'm not holding this and thrusting. Watch my arms as I do this together, right? I'm held here, and as I go, these already come together. Boom, right? So I thrust to the face. This drives in. Bam, bam. Now, I'm not finishing the way he says to, where he has us drive and pivot. But I am moving both feet, which is what Marazzo says to do. But again, right, if I'm here, and I feint to the face, and I do this with these together, boom, I'm drawing their action high, and I'm covering my hand, right? Otherwise, if I'm here and I feint to the face, right, somebody throws a, if I'm waiting somewhere like this, and somebody throws a thrust to my face, I'm most likely to clear with this and counter thrust, because I'm an a-hole. But regardless, if we move the sword and the Rotella together, if we make these actions in sequence, we support. And he tells us to do this in several places. I can dig up the exact references for you guys if you want. But basically, right, I'm here, and what do I do? there's a big difference between this and no offense, but the Georgian in me just goes, but I have this big, delicious, round, protective thing. I want to stay inside of it. I want to stay behind it. I do not want to end up, right? This is bad. Why is this bad? Where's my hand? Right? Versus if I'm here, right? Where's my hand at any point in this? Right, I'm here. Boom. And my sword arm was never exposed. Right? Let's think about this. I'm here. Right? And I come up and in. Lift, cut, cut. Again. So often in this, there are small movements that we could make, we can make or could make or should be making that make all the difference in things. Something to think about, how we play this and where and how we run. But I think the evidence is there to heavily support small movements of the rotella, small movements of the buckler that support our sword as we do different actions. Another thing that I have noticed to a large extent is that the downside to these sleds is that they curve so sharply up at the edge that causes it to rub, at least for me, on my upper arm, which is not my favorite. I'll have to figure out how I want to deal with that. Although it'll probably be less annoying if I'm wearing longer sleeves. There does seem to be a fair amount of evidence that I've been compiling a lot of places that the majority of rotellas, even if not the majority of ones that survive today, were flat, round discs. Little to no dishing, or if there was dishing, it may well have been simply to plane them so they were thinner at the edges than they are in the middle, thicker where your arm was. That being said, the rest of my practice for today is really straightforward, right? From from Porta de Ferro e Stretta, what am I doing? I'm making this thrust with that presentation, right? I'm here. Gaming it out. Let me think about these, right? I'm here. I throw high and cut to that arm shoulder if I miss, there's going to be a post coming. Boom. 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 Thoughts. Lots of thoughts.